One night I'm sitting at home quietly doing nothing, and the phone rings. Pat, g'day Fred, she said, Pat Burns here. A guy belonged to the Historical Society over at West Gosford. She said, we want to build a museum. She said, we've got about $6,000 in the bank. Of course, I was invited along to all these committees. They said I was on the building committee then. I didn't know I was a member of the society, but I was. They'd made me an honorary member of the society so that I could be on the building committee. I didn't know that. That was all done behind my back. Andy read and sees this plan and he says, they don't want anything they want something better than this. And he drew out a sketch and he took it to the mayor, who was Don Leggett. I'd estimated, I think, that if we built with the first original idea, it'd be about 40,000, perhaps 40,000. I said, that's going to cost us 20,000 extra more. You go to Andy Redden and tell him if they like to put in 20,000, we might think about it. So anyway, she went and told Andy this, and he said, I'll see what I can do. So he sees Don Leggett, and Don says, well, look, I've got 50,000. He says, sitting there somewhere. He said, not doing anything. He said, we could give them that 50,000. And by the way, all the bricks were supplied. The builder didn't have to buy any bricks because they'd been offered these bricks at $100 a thousand, which was about a quarter of the real price. I said, look, give me a week. And I come back to the next meeting. I said, I think we can build it for 50,000 if we do subcontract. Well, then the roof truss was made and we started doing the roof. Well, I employed a couple of blokes to help me with the roof, subcontractors. They were both good carpenters and they were good workers and everything, but they annoyed me. I put them off, I sacked them. He posts around at the district now as I'm the only bloke that ever sacked him. The devils, they used to turn up at 10 o'clock in the morning and knock off at 3 o'clock and they would charge me a full 8 hours. Well, I said, that's no good. No, I said, if I'm paying 8 hours, I said, I want 8 hours work. They're finished, I'll get somebody else. I got another bloke to come and help me, and he was here the full 8 hours and I worked with him. Him and I worked on the roof and put all the roof structure in, and we put the roof iron on. I had a plumber put the gutter around, and then we put the roof iron on. Inside I had the suspended ceiling put in there. It wasn't as it was drawn. The plan showed open ceiling. I decided to put that suspended ceiling. It was a little bit dearer, but it was soundproof and all the rest of it, and it could be renewed easy and all that. So that's how we come to have this. It's a suspended ceiling in there. It all hangs on rods. Had a little bit of a row with the bit Elaine and Stan's fault, as a matter of fact. They didn't tell me that they had an electrician that used to do all the electrical work. Bob sent it, but I got my regular electrician that I used to do all my work when I was building. I got him in. I never thought of Bob Send. I didn't know Bob was the regular electrician. Bob went crooked me. He condemned me a bit for doing it, and I said, oh, gee, sorry Bob, I didn't know. And I got my own electrician in anyway. My electrician didn't charge anything, he did it for nothing. So that's how we got out of a lot of the work. I got the windows very cheap too. I got a big discount off the windows. We got a discount off the bricks, and I got a lot of discounts one way and another. And then it come to finishing off. Well, I did all the office work and all that, all the inside fixing out. I didn't employ anybody to do that, so I just did that on the $2 an hour. And we still had money left, so they put the wall-to-wall carpet, which wasn't in the contractor's price. He wasn't to put wall-to-wall carpet, but we put all that carpet in there. That's been there 30 years, and there's not a sign of wearing it. It must have Stan and Elaine arranged that, and that was included in the 50,000, and I still had $250 left, I think it was. It cost $49,750. Of course, that shed, the far end one, the far end half, was the museum around here, in between the museum and the cottage. Well, when we'd finished, I got a bloke with a crane and a truck, and I had all the footings in up there, and we put the crane here. It reached over and lifted the whole shed from in between right up over the roof, put it on a truck. We took it up there and then just lifted it onto the concrete, onto the blocks, and it was up there. That was our storeroom. Oh, when it was built, Andy Redden, the bloke that drew the plans, the engineer, council engineer, wanted this as the entrance. Oh, he insisted on that, and they took it back to him about 4 times. They said they want the entrance up there so that they can watch the cottage, that people can come in, pay their money, they can go to the cottage and they can come in here. Not here, but he, anyway, eventually he changed it and made it there. Pat Burns again brings me up. She said, Fred, she said, we've got a general meeting on in the CWA rooms on Thursday, I think it was. She said, can you come in and give a report on the building? Now, she wanted me in there to give a report. I got all the details of what we'd done and what we still had to do and all this sort of thing. Next thing, they called me up. They presented me with a life member's badge. That's all she wanted me there for, was to become a life member. So I've never paid it. I have, but I've never actually paid any dues to this society since I've been a member, because the first 12 months I was non-member and then they made me a life member.
And was there much of the original footings of the cottage that might have been covered over by one end of this newer building, do you think, or not so much?
Oh, yes, I suppose it was. I don't remember running into anything, but
no,
because there was a lot of building of the Kendall Cottage was out here where the storeroom part is. That
right.
It was all there. Yes, it would be under there. I don't recall striking much of it, but there must have been some footings there.
Some bits and pieces, yeah.